Hey guys, it's your Formless guide. It is wonderful to connect with you once again in this timeless space. I'd like to begin with this question. Have you ever felt a fire burning inside of you, ready to ignite? Let's sit together with a powerful and liberating concept of our journey: acceptance. This is an active, profound act of courage and clarity that changes everything for us. Acceptance is simply seeing things exactly as they are, without the need to push them away or desperately cling to them. This simple shift is the key to unlocking immense internal peace and finding freedom within any given situation. Many confuse acceptance with resignation, believing that to accept a difficult situation means giving up or approving of injustice. This is a vital misconception that I think we must address by first understanding the difference. To accept something doesn't mean you agree with it or approve of it. You can fiercely disagree with a political outcome, but still accept the reality that it happened. You can accept the pain of a loss without agreeing that the loss should have occurred. Acceptance is an inner state. Agreement is an external judgment. Next, where do we go from here? The action from awareness. When you truly accept a situation, you are standing in a space of complete awareness. It can be scary, but free from the draining internal conflict of denial. From this still, calm point, you can now decide on the most effective, conscious action to take. We move from a place of power instead of reacting from a place of frustration or denial. How do we go about practically applying this formless principle of acceptance in our daily experience? When life inevitably throws its challenges our way, acknowledge the feeling without judgment. When a difficult emotion or challenging situation arises, resist the immediate urge to label it as good or bad. That judgment is the first step towards resistance. Simply acknowledge its pure, immediate presence. Say to yourself, I notice tension, or I notice sadness, or I notice this unexpected change. Next, drop the story. The majority of the suffering that we feel comes not from the event itself, but from the complex, often loud story that we created around it. It shouldn't be this way. I don't deserve this. If only I had done something different. Acceptance asks us to let the noise of the narrative fade and rest in the raw, immediate experience of the now. The feeling is real. The story is optional. Next, you have to surrender to the now. True, deep acceptance is the complete surrender to the present moment. This moment, exactly as it is the only reality you have to work with. Every fight we have is with the present moment. When you cease fighting the present, you instantly free up the energy that was previously wasted on resistance. That energy now becomes our fuel for conscious living. To see this principle in action, Let us share a formless fable. Imagine a seeker named Elias. Elias was a skilled builder, and his current project was a beautiful, arched wooden bridge. He had spent months perfectly carving the central keystone, the most essential piece. Then one night, a sudden, fierce storm swept through the valley. When Elias arrived the next morning, he found the keystone had been washed away down the swollen river. Lost, Elias initially collapsed in despair. He spent 3 frantic days upstream, fighting the current, searching for the lost stone, consumed by his own anger and denial. He was now fighting what is. This resistance left him exhausted, and the bridge still unfinished. On the fourth morning, sitting by the banks, he finally stopped fighting. He looked at the raging river and simply said, "The stone is gone." The storm happened. This was acceptance. He didn't agree with the loss, but he accepted the reality of it. In that moment of clarity, the energy previously used for resistance flooded back. He realized that the time he had spent carving the first keystone had taught him exactly what he needed to know. He didn't need to repeat his mistake, he needed to adapt. Instead of searching for the old stone, Elias started searching for a new solution. He found a large, naturally formed granite boulder nearby, a stronger, more durable material. This time he spent the next week shaping it with the steady focus born of his acceptance. When the bridge was finally completed, the granite keystone was more beautiful and resilient than the original wooden one would have been. Elias realized that the acceptance of loss led him not only to finish the bridge, but to build a better bridge. The loss was the very catalyst for greater strength. With this being said, I'd like to bring forward the truth of embracing impermanence. Every breath, every emotion, every relationship is in a state of constant, beautiful change. Accepting this essential flow means accepting that your current joy will eventually fade, and crucially, your current struggle will also pass. This dynamic rhythm of the cosmos is life itself. When we accept the flow, we discover that we, the awareness observing the change, are the only constant, the only formless center. When we resist what is, we tend to suffer twice, once from the event and again from the resistance to it. Acceptance is a divine editing tool. It removes the second, self imposed layer of suffering. It allows us to interact with life with a greater grace, effectiveness, and compassion. It is the formless heart's most natural state. Remember, this acceptance is the alignment of your deepest energetic centers. It is the steady grounding of your Muladhara, the shining, authentic power, the will of your Manipura, and the open hearted embrace of your Anahata. When these centers are aligned through acceptance, you stand unshakable, whole, and free. Remember, It all starts within you, and so will it end. Thank you, dear seekers, for sharing this space of understanding with me today. May you find the courage to accept the beautiful, complex reality of your life right now, exactly as it is. Can you do that? This will be the start of growing that formless nature that already lied within. This is your Formless Guide, signing off.